Daniels. Today we are going to go on a journey. I've got it written down here so I don't forget it. We're going to go on a journey of self-discovery and personal fulfillment, all right? And remember, I love this quote right here. Just as the incredible R.W.E. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. He is rich who owns the day, and no one owns the day who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. I think we do that a lot, right? We live in the past, we live in the future, but today, this is it. Today, what are we going to do today? How are we going to make a difference today? How do we provide value today? I am so excited. We're going to have a fantastic brain opening show today because listen, the fact is, without a doubt, and I say this with supreme confidence, that you follow this channel, you follow the instructions that are laid out to you on how to have quality conversations with distressed property owners, you are going to win. And you're going to win and you are going to earn income as a real estate entrepreneur. That is without a doubt a fact. But let me hit you with this. And this is something that I think is really, really interesting. All right. There are two types. Did you know? I'll ask this. I'll put it as a question. Did you know that there are two types of income? All right. Let's go to the board. You know I love the board. Here we go. Daniel, you got me? All right. Let's go to the board here. Boom! Two types. Are you restarting this thing on me? Two types of income. A little bit of glitch there. Number one, mental income. All right? This one is very rarely talked about. This is mindset. This is, what are you getting out of the experience that you're having, right? This is learning. This is gaining knowledge, all right? This is gaining recognition. And I always think about that. What is the mental income that we're giving our kids every day? What's the mental income that we're giving the people that are in our company? What is the mental income that we're giving to the people that are surrounding us, right? Because the more that you invest in other people's mental income, the more mental income you have coming back to you. It is supply and demand, all right? I mean, it's cause and effect, not supply and demand. It is cause and effect, mental income. That's it. It is so important. Don't just think that you're out there and you made calls and people are rejecting you and it's getting hard, or you've tried this out and you got a property under contract and it didn't work out. Listen, that all adds to your mental income. That is all part of your experience, right? That is so, this is slept on a lot because what we like is the tangible income, right? We love getting paid. We love, when people show off the things that they bought with the efforts that they made, right? That is exciting, but the mental income, I am telling you, you got to focus on that, because if you focus on what you're getting as mental income, those small little wins that you're making every single day, that you are getting every single day, that driving for dollars, mental income, getting out of your car and seeing a distressed property that looks vacant, knocking on the door, mental income, all of that is computing all the time, all the time, all the time. How rich are you? How rich is that mind? How much are you putting great stuff in there? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are rich with that mental income? For real. This is what leads to this. This is what gets you that tangible income. We're always focused on the end goal, right? Of making that tangible income. But we don't give enough credit to the mental income that we're getting every single day, that you're getting right now, learning and growing, and just getting that open mindset instead of just being fixed and just saying, oh, this doesn't work, or oh, this is too hard, or oh, I want other people to do this for me. I want it to be easy, right? The mental, you're missing out on that piece. And that's one of the most beautiful pieces of all of this, is that mental income. So do not sleep on that. Second thing, just because I like saying it and just because I think it's awesome, boom, fact, 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 fact. 1,700 people today will become a millionaire. 1,700 will become a millionaire. You know how much mental income these people are? You know that old saying that you make a million when you become the person that can make a million? right? It's about what you become. It's about what your mind is. That mental income, I am telling you, 1,700 people a day in this country. Google it. I don't care. Google it. Go. Verify. Look at it. 1,700 millionaires are made every single day. When's it going to be your day? All right? Awesome. So let's jump into it. Let's get going here. All right. We're going to be talking about what to do once you make the income that you make. All right? Now, this is, we're going to put this up. You good, Matt? Let's put that on there. We're going to start. This is kind of a pyramid, but it starts with the first step. All right. The first step as a real estate entrepreneur is you got to find discounted property. That's it. That's called wholesaling. That's all wholesaling is. You know, I get a lot of questions about, well, what happens if you have to get a license? What happens if the National Association of Realtors are going to try to go after wholesalers and all these other things? It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to stop you from finding discounted property. That's all wholesaling is. So to be able to find discounted properties, you need to have quality conversations with distressed property owners. But I'm telling you, once you learn this first step, then everything else adds on top of it. Everything builds on top of this. I've said it a million times on this show specifically that finding discounted property is the foundation of your real estate entrepreneur success. All right, find the discounted property. Once you're able to do that, you can flip properties. You can hold on to those. You can wholesale them. You can wholesale them. You can do all sorts of different things. But you got to find the discounted properties. All right, and once you find them, that's when you start bringing in that tangible income, right? That's what we do. That's why we exist. Listen, fix and flippers do not want to find discounted properties. You want to know why? Because they're terrible at marketing for the most part. And most of them, honestly, they just want to get the deals and they want to fix up properties and sell properties. They honestly, the thought of picking up a phone for a fix and flipper and cold calling or texting or door knocking or doing any kind of marketing, it scares the hell out of them. Scares them to death. That's why we exist. Listen, if real estate investors, flippers, whatever, people that build their portfolios were okay marketing and talking to people all the time, we wouldn't have a job. We wouldn't have a business. We just wouldn't. But the fact is they don't want to. They need us. The community needs us to go out there and speak with and have quality conversations with the distressed property owners in our marketplace. That is a fact. All right? Number two is once you start finding those discounted properties, you replace your current job. Well, Brent, I don't have a current job. Great. You're there. Stay in number one and you can go right to number three. And I'll show you what that is. But number two is most of us start off with another job. You know, and I don't care if you're a real estate agent. That's what I was. That was my job. I was a real estate agent. And then I started to migrate over to the much better world of wholesaling real estate. But you got to replace your job so that you can put your time and efforts into this. Because I'm telling you, just coaching the most incredible people in the country in the TTP program, the most people, 80% of the people in my program, in the TTP family, start out with a full-time job. All right? And they're working to replace that. They're finding the gaps in their schedule or they can commit to making this call. I don't care if they're in the military, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're truck drivers, they're IT professionals, engineers, everything. Everybody's come through the door. Everybody has, a set of, their schedule is kind of set and they're looking to replace their income. Because once you can replace your job, now you can do this full time. And this is where the pros really start making the money, is when you can commit your time and efforts into this business. That's when it just starts compounding and things start going faster and faster and faster. Okay? Number three is, this one's going to catch some people up. So now you know how to find discounted properties. Now you've replaced your income. You're going full time into your real estate business. And the third one is paying off consumer debts. Let me hit you with some facts here, okay? Most people work January to October, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, to pay income tax and interest. How about that? Most people. Interest and tax. That means you get a couple months of like willy-nilly having fun money, spendable money, right? Why don't people have a tremendous amount of savings? Because you're paying in tax and you're paying in debts, right? Once you clear off your consumer debts, then you've got it wide open. Now you're not just working. Listen, you're going to build a real estate portfolio that gets cash flow and that's going to go straight to your debts, to pay your car, to pay your insurance, to pay your phone, to pay your rent, to pay your mortgage, like all these things. And listen, to pay student debts, credit cards, all these things, right? And what I'm really talking about consumer here is mostly credit cards, cars, and student loans. Wipe them out. I'm telling you, you're going to be playing with house money. I'm telling you, when you start understanding that when you stop paying interest, you get to put that money that you were giving to the bank to somebody else, that you could put it into your own assets instead of putting it into their assets. Do you know you're their asset? You're their rental property. Did you know that? Every credit card, every car payment, everything, you are their cash flow. You're their rental property, right? Clear it out so that the money that you make off of buying assets goes to you and your family. And I know it sounds difficult, and I know you want to ball out as soon as you get those checks, and you want to do things that you never thought you could do, and go on those big vacations and buy that chain or buy that car or buy that, whatever, exotic animal, whatever it is, whatever you're into. I don't care. Whatever it is, just hold off. I'm just telling you, just keep that discipline for just a little bit. Get rid of all the other stuff first. Because I'm telling you, once you are free and you are not paying that interest on it, you are going to be going wild, and you're going to 10x your income. Watch what happens when you know that your efforts are going directly to you and your family, how much harder you're going to work, as opposed to, well, it's paying the bills. It's paying the bills. We're not average on this channel. We're not just this average punch the clock, pay your interest, stay in this little box. Here's your box for school. Here's your box for a job. No. Nope. This channel, we just got our brain is wired differently. We are. You would not be watching if your brain wasn't wired differently. So pay off those consumer debts. Number 4, build a portfolio of properties. Boom. Seriously, look at all the advantages. Depreciation. You pay less in income tax. It's literally there. The government literally says if you provide housing, you pay less in personal income tax. It's there. How about appreciation? Appreciation. You're sitting there and literally life is just pushing up the value of these properties. I'm telling you, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Look at how most people pay off their bills or pay off those consumer debts. What they do is they let appreciation in their personal house go bananas, and then they do a home equity line, which is interest, but they pay off their higher interest with that interest, and they feel great about it, but now they're still in debt, right? But the point is, there's appreciation. It was worth $150, now it's worth $250. Now it's just going bananas. Everybody's seeing it. People bidding on properties, multiple bids, boom, 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 boom. Be in that driver's seat. Build portfolio properties. Not only that, but if you're putting your money into properties, you know what? I'm going to tell you just personally. I like buying properties all cash, and I'll probably get away from it here for the next 10 years or so. We'll see. We'll see how interest rates go. But I like buying properties cash because if I have that cash in my account, I do stupid things. I just get wild. I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to go buy this and do that and go here and do that. So as a discipline, I buy properties cash so that it's gone. It's boom, done. Well, that's dead money, Brent. You could leverage that and buy way more. Great. I like the lifestyle I live. I don't need to manage 100 doors. That sounds like a nightmare to me. But I can buy these properties and build up a portfolio of properties. I can build them up to a wonderful cash flow. And if I own them all free and clear, woo, all cash flow. All cash flow. I don't have any consumer debt, so all cash flow. Build your portfolio of properties. When you make money, you have 2 options. Spend it or invest it. Spend it or invest it. And that's only after you pay taxes, right? Spend it or invest it. So invest it into a portfolio of properties. I am telling you, time and time again, the wealthiest people are buying up land. Since whenever land became valuable, way back when, that's wealth. That is true wealth, owning that. And remember, each one of your rental properties is a little business. It's a little business for you that's providing you cash flow. It's giving you some income, right? Not only that, it's providing all the depreciation, and if you do get debt on it, you get debt pay down. It's fantastic. Build a portfolio of properties. Number 5, Replace your income with that passive income, right? Now we're rolling, baby. You found it. You know how to find discounted properties, but now you're going to replace your income with that passive cash flow that you're getting from your assets. All right? You were investing, you're not spending. Now your income is coming in always. You're sick, it's coming in. You want to go on vacation, it's coming in. You want to sleep for a month, it's coming in. Whatever it is, whatever you want to do, that money's coming in. All right? And that is, woo, that is unbelievable. That is absolutely incredible when you know that you have the freedom to do what you want. You have the freedom of schedule. You have that energy freedom, right? Where do you want to put your energy? And then all of a sudden, some people call it FU money, right? I'll keep it clean for the kids. But really what it is it just opens up. You get to do the things that give you energy and not drain you of energy. Can you imagine that? Brent, why do you have so much energy? Are you on crack every day? No, listen, I've replaced my income with passive income. This is all fun. This is all energizing, right? I'm telling you, replace your income with passive income and your energy goes through the roof. And once you have that energizing enthusiasm, it just keeps going. It just keeps spinning. The tornado keeps picking up more incredible people and more incredible opportunities. Replace your income with passive income. Number 6 is my favorite. Give back. Give back. Give back with your time. Give back with your energy. Give back with your money. Give back with your experience. Give back to your family. Give back to your friends. Give back. Give back. That's the best. But how do you give back unless you're already there, right? How do you give back? How do you show people the path if you haven't walked the path? If you just have a theory of what the path looks and feels and tastes and smells like, right? Give back. You have to be able to get to this point. And if you'll throw up the pyramid, Matt, that'd be great. This is inspired kind of from the Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson pyramid of greatness, right? But this is not, you could flip this any way you want. It's not like give back's the smallest one, discounts property. It just fit that way. But this is it. Find discounted properties, replace your current job, pay off consumer debt, build a portfolio of properties, replace income with passive income, and give back. You know, I think that we want to run and jump and build our portfolio of properties before we've replaced our income, right? Before we've paid off our consumer debt. But I'm telling you, if you go through these 3 steps here, you're not going to be that tired landlord that we're calling in 15 or 20 years. The fact is, like, I don't know, 90% of the deals that we do, 90% of the deals that I interview people on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast are tired landlords. You want to know why they're tired? Because they didn't do 1 and 2, right? They got a property, they got it, maybe they lived in it before, now they're renting it, but they didn't replace their current job. So they got their current job, and then they have to take care of this property as well. That's why they're called tired landlords, right? Because they're tired all the time, right? Maybe they have a few properties, maybe they only have 1, but we buy most of our discounted properties from tired landlords. Isn't that incredibly eye-opening? Isn't it incredibly eye-opening that this person that we're speaking to had that gleam in their eyes of being a real estate entrepreneur, being a real estate investor, and something crushed them along the way? You know what crushed them along the way? They didn't replace their income. They didn't replace their current job. And now it's just part of their life. Now it's just another thing piling on to their responsibilities. And people let it go. And it's the last thing on the line of responsibilities. They've got their family, they've got their job, they've got their retirement, they've got everything going on. I mean, we've got a billion things going on all the time, right? Hobbies, all these other things. And then they just let the properties be the last priority. And tired landlords is where we get the biggest, best deals, because those are typically the ones that are the most beat up because they just forget about it. They just leave it. Hey, renter, listen, you can stay in there. I'm not going to increase rent, but I'm not going to fix up the property. Happens every day. I mean, that's where we get these deals. I'm telling you, that's why everybody goes after absentee owners, absentee out-of-state owners, right? Vacant properties, tired multifamily owners. All these people had dreams of being a real estate entrepreneur, and it was crushed. I do not want you to get crushed because you've got all these other responsibilities and you can't focus on being a real estate entrepreneur. Replace getting to the point where you are doing this full time. you're building your portfolio properties. Your passive income is covering your expenses, and then you give back. That's the plan. Listen, don't overcomplicate this. We keep it as simple as possible because that's it. I mean, listen, you talk to enough people, you're going to find opportunities, okay? Once you find opportunities, you're going to get tangible and mental income. Boom, 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 right? Mental and tangible income. And then from there, you can replace it and run and run and run. And that is the dream. Work for yourself. Set your schedule. Control how much energy you have for your family, for your friends, for your whatever, passions, hobbies, whatever you want to do. Maybe you like whittling. Maybe you like welding stuff. Maybe you like, I don't know, swimming. I don't know, whatever it is. But that happens if you can control your schedule. And that happens when you replace your income and replace your job with your efforts as a real estate entrepreneur. So that's it. That is it. That's the 6 steps. We'll put it into TTP Insider. Give us a day to put it in, ttpinsider.com. Can you put that on the screen, Matt, please? TTP Insider. Get in there. If you have not joined TTP Insider, join it now. If you are getting value from this so far, you have to subscribe. I'm telling you, we come out with content, instructional, not entertainment. Somewhat, we do a good job, but it's not built for entertainment. It's not even built for education. It's built for instruction, and that's what you should be looking for. What is the actual blueprint? What is the actual game plan, right? That's what you're looking for. It's right here on this channel. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications because we come out every single day. Get that boost of energy. All right? Awesome. We are going to open this up, guys. Open it up to comments. If you have questions, if you want to look at a property, if you want to do a deal or no deal, that'd be great. Just put it into the comments section, and Jesse here is going to find you and put you up on screen. And oh, Stephanie Hunt, come on. Here we go. I'm telling you right now, recognition. Stephanie Hunt opening the show, cracking open the show with 5K closed deal on Friday. I am telling you, absolutely incredible. I don't know if it's your first deal or your 100th deal, but keep that momentum. Absolutely incredible. Now, Stephanie, listen to me. You got to join the 50K club. Sorry, that's the deal. You come into my world. You come into the TTP universe. We look to do massive deals. All right. So let's add another 0 to that. Let's put that to $50,000 deal. Now we're talking, because that truly is the rocket fuel. And I'm telling you, it's really interesting. When you hit 50,000 for the first time, it changes your brain chemistry. I say it on here all the time. All of a sudden 50 is like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's all right. I did a cool 50. Oh, and then all of a sudden you're like, 75 doesn't seem too tough. Let me shoot that. And then it's like, well, 75 is cool, but 100 seems within reach. We're repotting. All that mental income. We're just changing the fishbowl that our brain is in, right? Until we're in the ocean and we're just a big old blue whale, right? We start off, we're a little teeny little goldfish, and then we start growing and growing and growing, and we start doing bigger deals. And all of a sudden, Stephanie is developing some huge condo complex somewhere, making millions. So that's the start. I love it. Congratulations, Stephanie. Absolutely fantastic. Is a rental portfolio a better long-term option than actually flipping houses? This is a great question. It depends on where you're at in the process, right? If you're at the first part where you are finding you're finding discounted properties and you are doing this full time. See, I want you to flip and to wholesale so that you can replace and open up your schedule, because time is more precious than your portfolio. I'm telling you, time is more precious than the income. Time is more precious. You guys get it. You get it, right? So anyway, so you want to free up your time to replace your income. So I like flipping in the beginning, right? And then you're flipping, you're wholesaling, you're doing that, you're making those checks, you're getting that tangible income, and then boom, you replace your job. So now your schedule's cleared up. Now you're really rolling. You're doing more. You were doing one deal every 90 days. Now you're doing one a month. Now you're doing a couple a month. Now things are starting to build momentum. You were making, $40,000 from your real estate efforts a year, and now you're making $400,000. You've replaced your job, and now you are paying off. You pay off your consumer debts, and then you build your portfolio. You build your portfolio. I don't want all of these efforts, all those things that you've done, all the conversations that you've had, all the doubts and the fears, and you've had to booster your courage to be able to go out there every single day. I don't want all those efforts to just be turned over. Here you go. Here you go, interest. Here you go, credit card. Here you go, car payment. Here you go. Now there's some bills. There's some bills that you pay, right? You have to, live and do all that. But the consumer debt, that interest rate, let's wipe it out. Let's wipe it out. And then from there, brother, Walker, then you're building your portfolio. So I like flipping. I like you getting that income coming in, freeing up your schedule, freeing up your bank, freeing up your getting a big, healthy, heavy bank account, not paying that interest, and then building your portfolio. Great question. Guys, this is fake money, by the way. This is hilarious. This costs $7 off of a website, right? Isn't that crazy? $40,000 is $7. I mean, it's all fugazi, right? It's all fake. When you see this kind of thing on Instagram or whatever else, it's all fake. Stop being pulled in by that. You're too smart. This is all just fake money. You know what I mean? So don't get pulled in by that. I thought it was kind of fun to have it on here, though. Because, yeah.
It looks pretty real, though.
It looks pretty real. It does. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. It's where you're at in the process. Samuel, I want to get into this bad. I'm afraid cold calling is going to become illegal. It's not if you follow the rules. It's not. I mean, reaching out. Listen, if you're doing it right, it's not illegal. You can pick up the phone and listen. If you're that afraid of it, Samuel, which I don't think that you should be, especially if you're following this channel, I've got a ton of different videos on it here. I did a great interview a few weeks back with Ivo Dragunov. And I've got all the resources in TTP Insider that you need to be successful at these calls. But if you're that afraid, knock on the doors. Knock on the doors or start calling real estate agents, which that's a commercial call. You could call real estate agents all day long and tell them, hey, look, I'm looking for properties that need to be renovated. What do you have? Can I be your best cash buyer that you go to? I can make decisions quick. You send them over. Jamil Damji's built the biggest wholesaling business in the country from just that, from talking to real estate agents every single day. So listen, it's not about, when you look at TTP here, it's kind of like people have made that synonymous with cold calling sellers. TTP is just talking to people. It's not talking to distressed sellers. You could talk to everybody. You could talk to those distressed property owners, but you can also talk to real estate agents. You can also talk to hard money lenders. You can also talk to the people that are down bidding at the foreclosure auctions. You can talk to the people in your family. You can talk to the neighbors in specific areas. If you want to farm an area, that's very typical in a retail business. If you want to farm an area where you're just focused on that area and talk to everybody and become the person that buys properties there, maybe it's your neighborhood. Maybe just go and tell all your neighbors, hey, listen, if you guys ever want to sell, let me know. I'd love to give you an offer. How about that? I mean, guys, don't overcomplicate this. I get it, Samuel. There's some fear there that you don't want to get in trouble. But if you do it right, there's no risk. I mean, there's always risk, but there's no, it usually isn't negative. You know what I mean? It's usually not too bad, right? Good. TTP. I love it. Batch driven. All right, good. Oh, come on. Just picked up my first wholesale check. James Ellis, come on. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Instagram, you guys can't see this, but James Ellis just picked up a check for $14,000. He's got 2 more under contract. Come on. That's it. That's it. Keep the money, James. Keep tight. Don't go crazy. Listen, I know 14,000. You're like, oh man, that's in my account. What can I invest this in? And a lot of people go, I'm going to invest it in, hiring people and doing all this and this. Keep building. Don't hire anybody until you make 30 grand. 30. Oh, it's all falling apart here. 30 grand. 3 straight months. I'm telling you. And don't hire callers until you've talked to 1,000 homeowners yourself. That's the rule. Well, I don't want to do that. Fine. But you're going to just be wasting your money. It's going to be throwing it out the door. You're not going to get the right talent, and you're not going to understand who the right talent is until you've talked to 1,000 people. I'm just telling you. I've seen it time and time again. The Wyatt Group. How do you determine when to wholesale property versus buying it as a rental? Number one factor that I look at Wyatt Group is it in one of the top school districts? That's the only place that I buy. Is it in the top school districts? Because those properties always appreciate. Those properties people are fighting to get into, so they go really fast once you put them on the market. And for the most part, people stay there longer because their kids are going through school and they don't want to keep moving them around. So as long as their financial situation, their income from whatever job or whatever is consistent, they stay there for years and years and years and years. So that's the number one filter that I look for is, and that was from my mentor, Michael Jake, a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal investor out of Colorado Springs, tens of millions of dollars of net worth. Fantastic. He said, listen, buy in good school districts. And he said, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you pay full price for them. I don't, obviously. But, if you get something in a good school district, that would make me look at it. But I wouldn't do that until my consumer debts are paid off. I wouldn't. I'd wholesale everything. I would wholesale everything until my consumer debts are paid off. Once you're there, then I would start cherry picking. And as long as it makes sense and as long as it's not going to be a huge distraction and derail you from what you're doing to earn the income, because that's the issue. The issue is not, a lot of people think, oh, it's just starting. It's starting. I just need to get my first deal. And I get it. If you're consistent over 90 days, you'll get a deal. I'm telling you, you'll get a deal. Once you get going, the bigger issue happens when you start making the money and you're like, oh, now I've got all these other opportunities. Now I can start doing flips and I can start doing rentals and I can start doing maybe some development deals, or maybe I'm lending hard money if you've got a license to do that. There's so much. But remember, you got to stay focused on the things that have made you successful so that you can keep that engine going. You got to keep that engine hot in going down the tracks. All right? Great question. But I wholesale everything until the consumer debts are paid, and then I look for good school districts, and I cherry pick them, and I buy them cash. And I'll probably not buy all of them cash in the future, but right now it's absolutely bananas. So, the market is hot. So there you go.
And probably about a month ago, we did a whole live show on how to buy your first rental property.
Yeah.
That goes into crazy detail about what to look for.
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, we did a phenomenal show here on when to buy your first rental property and how to do it with Jared Vidalis, who has, in 6 years built up, what was it, $16 million of net worth? Incredible. Larry Cleveland, how do you renegotiate with a seller after initial offer? New data shows price needs reducing, but they think they're being taken advantage of. Of course, anytime that you're trying to knock them down, first of all, you start with making sure that you lock it up at the right price. Now, if your buyers are telling you something different, you can go with an approach, Larry, that goes, you know what? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is old school. This is old school Todd Toback right here. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my numbers were off. I need to cancel the deal. Where do you want me to send the cancellation? And then they go, whoa, what's happening here? And you say, well, listen, I can't make the numbers work at this price. It just, it just doesn't pencil out, and I don't want to waste your time. I'm really sorry. We put our best foot forward, but it's just not going to work. And then if they go, oh, well, what price works? Now they're coming up with that idea, Larry. Now they're kind of moving a little bit. Now they're kind of coming down a little bit, and they're open to getting this thing done. But do not, I don't know if anybody's training out there. I don't know. I hope not. Do not lock it up as high as possible because you want to win the bid with the full intention of right before closing hitting them with a price reduction. I am telling you, that's when your name is printed in a newspaper. That's when you know your local news station is hunting you down for, you know, an interview, and they pop in on you. That type of stuff. And nobody wants that. So don't play like that. Be honest with them up front. If you don't get the bid, you don't get the bid. But what I'll say is right now, if you're putting in an offer and there's multiple offers, until that deal shows its close, you got to call that owner every week. Hey, I know you accepted another offer. Just want to make sure everything's going smooth. How's it going? Is it looking like it's on the path to close? Yes? Okay, great. Congratulations. Just making sure. If anything happens, if anything gets a little wiggly, you text me, okay? Text me and we'll get on the phone. We'll figure it out, all right? So there you go, Larry. Hit them with, you got to cancel, and if they bring the suggestion back that they would reduce the price, now you're off and running. Now that they're not feeling like they're getting taken advantage of. Don't lock it up at whatever price so that you can win. Don't do that. And you're going to be in good shape. By the way, in the top of the hour, in 25 minutes, my mentor, Tom Krol, is coming on here live. All right? Yeah, Tom Krol. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Now we got our Mike Mahoney came in. He had to drop his kid off. He's in school now. He's coming in. Boom, there he is, looking handsome. Look at that guy. So we've got the sounds, and we got his beautiful, dazzling white smile. All right,
dude. I love the Ron Swanson.
I know. I know the pyramid cut.
I think he might be my spirit animal.
Yeah, he is your spirit animal for sure. All right, Dante. What percentage of your deals should you reinvest into marketing? I like keeping it under 20%. Okay, and the reason I say that, and here's the thing, if you're doing the calls yourself, you got to keep a lot more of it. It's going to cost a fraction of that. I like keeping it at 20% because if you can make $1 out of, if you can take $1 and make $5, you're doing an incredible job, incredible job, and it just keeps you disciplined, right? It keeps you making sure that every lead comes in is like precious and nothing slips through the crack. So 20%, Dante, great question. Yeah. Jose, what do I do when I'm ghosted after they say they want to sell? Go to the door. Go to the door. I mean, if you're close, or if you've got somebody boots on the ground, go to the door, knock on the door, talk to them. You know, you can always call them from a different phone number. That's fine. You know, but if they're kind of already stiff-arming you and they're not really wanting to respond to you, just go to the door. Write them a note. Go to the door. Keep calling. Keep texting. And if they keep ghosting you, just let them know. Give them permission to, like, end the relationship. Hey, Bob, you know, we talked. You had said you would consider an offer on your property. I just want to let you know I'm still interested. I don't want to keep bugging you. So if you could just let me know if you still want to sell your property, I'd love to get you a fair offer on your property. Boom. That's keywords, fair offer on your property, and just see if they respond. The best thing, you know what, if they're like, no, I don't want to sell, or leave me alone, or whatever else, then at least you know. Then the ghost has come and transformed into a human being. Ooh. Right? Yeah. So if they're ghosting, send that, be very obvious with them, and then also go to the door. So send a text, call them, go to the door. Boom. Madeleine, there she is. I started calling 6 months ago. What do you think about if now that I have a wee bit more calling experience to recall my earlier list? If so, should I call from a different number? Yeah. I mean, you should probably be switching up your caller ID number every month anyway, because it'll start getting marked as, people will start marking it as spam, and it'll show up as potential spam or spam likely or whatever on the cell phone carriers. So your numbers should be changed up. But listen, even if you have the same one, they don't know. If you called them 6 months ago, they don't know, right? So, yeah, you can recall your earlier lists. Just make sure that you're having a good contact rate. If you're not above 6 or 7% on a contact rate, then move on to a different list. You're just wasting too much time not talking to enough people. All right. And if you have a question about contact rate, it's basically how many calls to have a conversation. And that's easy. The dialers calculate that instantly for you.
Hey, Brent, real quick,
Yep.
are there certain lists that you would not want to call if it's 6 or 12 months old?
Yeah, good question. So obviously pre-foreclosures, right? Some of the pre-foreclosures, some of the tax defaults, some of those things. Great question. The ones that are like time sensitive, A lot of the times when you go back 6 months to a probate, I mean, you could go back, but a lot of times they've sold those properties. A lot of times pre-foreclosures obviously have done something with the property, whether they do a loan modification or they've sold it or it's foreclosed. You know, the crazy thing is, you know, we're living in kind of a weird bubble, Mike, right? Where the forbearance has stopped foreclosures because of the pandemic. Well, it's coming. I mean, not a lot. Listen, most of the people have done loan modifications, have figured it out. But people still in regular markets lose properties every single day to foreclosure. Isn't that crazy? I had this conversation today with a brand new, incredible student out of Tampa Bay, and he was just talking about the amount of inventory that there is to go after, and it's unlimited. I mean, there's still properties going to foreclosure that lose it to that or tax default or whatever.
You know what that reminds me of? You talk a lot about looking for people who want to sell
Yep.
versus need to sell.
Yep.
It's like you look at all these pre-foreclosures that foreclose on a daily basis. It's like they needed to sell, but a lot of them they didn't want to.
They didn't.
You know?
Yep. I'm hearing an echo with Mike's, Matt. Okay. Do you recommend getting your real estate license? This is from IG, Eat Brains. I love it. Yeah, what are your points on new regulations against wholesale? I love this too. This is heating up, and we'll do a whole show on this. But basically, listen, NAR is the National Association of Realtors. They're a private company. It's not a government agency. They're a company like whatever, Facebook, IBM, Walmart, whatever. They're a company. And you have to pay dues to them. They're like a union. You pay dues to them. And a lot of teachers will understand that. A lot of people that are just in unions will understand that you pay dues to them, and they work on your behalf to lobby Congress to push things through to make it better for real estate agents. That's it. And there's 2.5, 3 million real estate agents in the country, so it's a big company, right?
I think they're the biggest lobbying group in the U.S.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and so they see wholesaling as, hey, we want a piece of that. I don't think that they see it as, oh, we're doing less deals as realtors because of this. We just work with a different property, different people, right? A lot of the people that we work with don't want to list their properties. They don't want to put it on the market. They don't want their neighbors knowing about it, all these things, right? So, getting your real estate license is positive. I think that's great. If that's what you have to do in your state, that's what you have to do in your state. I think over the next 5-10 years, they'll push enough where you have to do it nationwide. But there's a difference between people saying, well, wholesaling is illegal. No, you just need a license. Or you just close on the properties. Just find you should have somebody that could close on any of these deals because there's such great discounts. It shouldn't be hard finding people to give you money to close on a property. You can get transactional funding. You could Google that, transactional funding. You can get a private investor after a while, after networking with enough people, or you can do a double close or double escrow if your title companies do it. That's it. There's so many different options. But to say that you can't go out there and find discounted properties is absurd. And that's all wholesaling is finding discounted properties. So go with confidence. Listen, if you need to get a license or have somebody on your team get a license. You know, whoever's going out there communicating with the owners and putting together the paperwork, you know, boom. You know what I mean? This should not slow anybody down. I think people are looking. I think that they're like, well, this is too good to be true. When's it going to end? How is this going to happen? Am I getting in at the wrong time? Have I missed the boat? Is it too congested? No, there is always a place to find discounted properties. So just go confident with that, and you're going to win. And I know somebody in Philly, right? Did you put that up, Jesse? Anyway, Philadelphia, you have to, or they're pushing to do that, and it's going to happen more and more. So.
Yeah. Well, he said they passed it, and
Almost nothing's changed in Philly. Yeah.
It's not something for people to be scared of. It'll weed out bad apples. It'll get you access to the MLS. It'll be easier to talk to agents. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yep. Awesome. From IG, Brent, I just started with Deal Machine driving for dollars. I'm new to wholesaling and wanted to make sure this is the best possible way to get started. I love it. Well, not only that, but here's the thing. Nicest flow. Whoa, all right. What, are you a rapper? Let's go. I'm gonna check you out. I'll check you out after the show. Anyway, yeah. Listen, find ugly houses. Get their phone number from batch skip tracing. I mean, Deal Machine gives you the phone numbers there, but it's not as accurate, so it's up to you. You can click the button right there and call them if you want. That's fine, but batch just has better data. Anyway, and you can just call them up and ask them if they would consider an offer. Get the script from TTP Insider, ttpinsider.com. Get the script, and boom, you're off and running. All right. So yeah, it is 80% of people, 80% of new wholesalers get their first deal from driving for dollars. It's just stats. There you go. We're cruising. I'm feeling good today, Mike. Look at this. Look at all this money I got. Look at all this, Mike. Clap, 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 clap. Who is the richest guy? This costs $7, Mike. $7. Yeah, we're going to the club. Semcon. Seller is asking for reference. I haven't done any deals yet. What should I do? Well, one, you can squat up with somebody that's done a bunch of deals and work the deal that way so that you don't get so you don't miss out on that opportunity. You're going to have to split that deal with somebody that is established, but that's fine. It's good experience and you're going to get paid. So I would just find whoever is running. I would go to Facebook and I'd see whoever has set up the real estate investing groups that's got a couple thousand people in it. And I'd reach out to the person that set it up. What's it called? The admin or the creator or something like that. Anyway, I would DM them and say, hey, listen, I've got a deal, but they want a reference. I've never done a deal. Would you partner up with me so that I can add some credibility to the offer? And they should say yes, without a doubt. They'll probably ask you the details. And that just gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're doing something. Hopefully they've got a good reputation and they don't just backdoor you. But for the most part, I don't worry about that stuff. Once you start worrying about it, that's when it happens. And usually the people that set up those groups have a decent reputation, so they don't want to ruin that. So I would do that. I would either do that, or I would simply say to them, hey, listen, I'm just a small family business. I'm just getting started in this. I know that I could do a great job, but I've never purchased a property like this before. If you're looking for a bigger company to do business with, I completely understand. But if you want, more of a close communication, you and I working together on this and not just being another number in a big company, then I think that we can work really well together. What do you think? Just hit them with the honesty. And the truth is, those big companies, the Zillow offers, Open Door, OfferPad, iBuy, all these iBuyers, internet buyers, they're just numbers. They don't care, There's not a relationship there. They're not over communicating. They're just doing what they do and pushing it through. So I think you have a unique advantage if you're honest with them there. But I would probably go with somebody that has done a bunch, can prove it, has a company website, has all those things if they're asking for it, and you're off and running. Good question. Guys, in 12 minutes, we've got the original rhino, the head rhino, Mr. Tom Krol popping on here. Now, I will warn you, he's a wild man. He is an absolute maniac. I love him. You think I have energy? You just wait. In 12 minutes, it's going to blow your mind. And we haven't tested out our link. Hopefully it'll work, but I'm going to be honest. Tom, my mentor, is not the most savvy. So there might be some complications, but hopefully not. Hopefully it'll go smooth and we can bring his energy into it. Rhonda. Love you, Rhonda. Great to have you on here. Just downloaded your contract. Would you please explain earnest part? Do you use 1,000 of the buyers, 5,000 to pay your earnest money, or do you put in your own 1,000 to cover the earnest? Rhonda, you could change that to $1. You could change it to $10. I put $1,000 in Phoenix market because the sellers are looking for that. They're looking for more. It's hot. It shows that we're serious. And people that understand earnest, $1,000 they're usually fine with. But you literally, just depending on the person you're talking, you could put, in some areas you don't even have to put money down to make it a valid contract. What's it called, Mike? When you put it down, consideration. That's going back to our old school real estate licensing courses. Anyway, consideration to make the contract valid. A lot of times, if you do $1, $10, whatever, some states like North Carolina, you have to put in money for an inspection. It just depends. So just talk to a real estate attorney or reach out to the title companies or closing attorneys in your market that work with wholesalers and find out what is required there. But Rhonda, don't worry about that. 100, 200, 1,000. The 5,000 that you're referencing there, we always require 5,000 non-refundable earnest deposit from our cash buyers. All right, and that does replace yours. Typically, they'll just refund you your earnest money. The title company or closing attorney will either refund it or they'll just give it back to you at the closing, which happens typically with our deals. Good question. Roberto, how do I switch my caller ID number if it's my own number? Well, a couple different things. If you are hand dialing, you can just Google different sideline numbers, Google numbers, seeing how you get another number, like a sideline number for your cell phone, okay? But preferably, hopefully, at some point you are using a dialer to make those calls, and it's pretty easy to switch it out. Batch Dialer does a phenomenal job of providing numbers that get rotated so that you get the best contact rate. So that's what I suggest, Batch Dialer. Make sure you use that TTP code, and you can test it out for free and get rolling with that. So use that TTP code, Batch Dialer. So that, yeah, that'll rotate the numbers. Good question. Samuel, could you do an episode on your, we just talked about this. We talked about it yesterday. Absolutely. Within this month, either next week, I might address the whole is wholesaling illegal thing next week, or the week after. I'm going to be breaking down my entire team. You're going to see it. You're going to see what I pay them. You're going to see what their percentages are. You're going to see the whole thing. All right. And if you're part of the TTP family, if you're part of the TTP program, Fridays are open. So that's when I do my team meetings. That's when my whole team comes in. We do our scoreboard. We do our celebrations. We go over the hottest deals. We connect. We go over the things that we're grateful for. It's fantastic. So anybody out there, if you're in the TTP family, make sure that you pop in on a Friday for sure. And if you're not in the TTP family, I'm waiting. Look at these open arms. Look at these open arms. Email you what? If they're coming in. Oh, yeah. Email, well, text me if you're coming in, and I'll hook you in with all 100 to put you on the schedule. But if you're not, come on. Come on. Where should I send them? To wholesalinginc.com? TTPcall. TTPcall.com. Maybe we can put a thing on there. Oh, that's magical. TTPcall.com. To have a strategy call with the team and see if it's the right fit. But love to work with you personally. All right. Larry, what tools do you promote to locate homeowners' contact information other than free sites? So a couple different things, Larry. I love PropStream for pulling the lists, and that is at ttpdata.com. ttpdata.com. That's where, like, if you're serious and you're really, like, you really want to make a run and you really want to replace your income and get going and pull the most distressed lists, that's at ttpdata.com. That's powered by PropStream. And then you go to batchskiptracing.com, and that's where you get the most accurate phone numbers for the properties that you're trying to get a hold of. So batchskiptracing.com. Use that coupon code TTP. It gets a discount. All right. There you go. I like that logo, Larry. I like that. Look at that thing. That's powerful. From IG, N Brown 14. Is it normal to talk to so many angry people when you cold call? Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, here's the thing. We're interrupting their day, right? We're interrupting their day. So yeah, there's going to be some people that, first of all, most people, when you go up to them, like, think about it. When you go into a department store, when you go on a car lot, when you're whatever, and people are like, hey, can I help you? And you're like, no. I'm browsing, just looking for undershirts or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Belts. Yeah. I'm just looking around. Yeah. No, I don't want to buy a car. I I like the smell of them, so I just come on lots, whatever. You know what I mean? So you kind of like put up your defenses, you put up your barrier, your force field, and it just you have to get through that. You have to thaw them out. That's why you have to sound like a neighbor. So if you're getting a lot of that in Brown 14, what I would say is really pay attention to the tone of voice that you're using. Really make sure that when you're connecting, it connects right away, right? It connects to them right away. There's not like a pause there that makes it awkward. And you're just like, hey, N. Brown, how are you? Great, yeah. I know this call's out of the blue, but my name is Brent, and I was actually calling about a property I believe you own on 1212 Banana Street. Yeah, okay, great. Well, I was actually, calling just to see if you would consider an offer on your property there, right? And just kind of flow with it. Now I get these calls. Or you can start what Katie Fisher has been talking about, and something that I did on some of the lists back in the day and that we've been doing with our callers is, hey, listen, I know you're getting a ton of these calls. I get it, and I'm just reaching out. I just wanted to let you know I'm your neighbor. I buy houses. I want to see if you would consider an offer on your property, and on the property that I believe you own on 1212 Banana Street, and just kind of roll with it there. So you could switch that up as well.
Some lists are a lot angrier than others.
Yeah.
Vacant, absentee. I mean, that whole thing versus some other,
Yeah. 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 I mean, some of them are just beat up more. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep. Awesome. Your mic's on, Mike, and it's echoing the heck out of me. How do you find names under LLC properties? MJJ Smooth Criminal. I love it. Michael Jackson's Joseph. Michael Jackson Joseph Smooth Criminal. The beautiful thing is Batch Skip Tracing now skip traces LLCs and trusts. Guys, I have been trying, I'll get on the roof and I'll scream it to everybody. You need to be skip tracing these LLCs and trusts, especially if, like Madeline was saying earlier, do I call back these properties that I called 6 months ago? Well, 6 months ago, they couldn't skip trace LLCs and trusts. So all those ones that you pulled out because I taught you to do that, because they wouldn't come back with numbers, now put them back in and make a big difference. But if you want to find, if you do want to just go to the Google your state or county's, your state's corporation commission, literally Nevada Corporation Commission, Louisiana Corporation Commission, whatever it is, and see where the site is. Typically those are, all of those are available online. Just depends. Some non-disclosure states don't have that, but for the most part around the country, you should be able to pull up who are the owners. Okay. Awesome. And then just look for the managing member or the principal or whatever else. We're 3 minutes away from Tom Krol. You're working on it. Okay. Well, let's keep rolling here then. All right. Stephanie Hunt, who just closed $5,000 on Friday. Hey, Brent, what does a conversation with a hard money lender sound like? What is the process of using a hard money lender? That's fantastic. So number one, Stephanie, is you're having you call them up and you say, hey, I've been, and it just depends on where you're at, right? If you want to get money, there's a couple strategies here. One is just to see what their rate and terms are and what's going on, what their process looks like. The other one is getting access to all of their clients to sell your deals. All right. So number one, if you're calling, you're just saying, I'm a local wholesaler. I'm really proactive. I'm making calls all the time, but some of these properties I want to be able to take down myself. Can you tell me what are your terms right now? What does that look like? Right. And so you're just opening up the conversation that way. The other one is I am proactive. Every day I'm making calls. I'm finding really great off-market properties. I'm finding really great discounts. Do you have buyers that are looking for deals right now? Do I send them to you? Do I send them to your buyers? What do you think? And then you can tap in. I'm telling you, some of the best cash buyer databases on planet Earth are sitting in the computers of hard money private lenders, hard money lenders, private money lenders, whatever it is. They just do. Mike worked with one. Oh boy. We're going to get this thing going. Let's pop Tom on now. Let's get Tom on here. Yeah. Tom.
Well,
Krol. Welcome
How are you,
again. I am fantastic. This is a real treat because this show is all about what to do with the money you make after wholesaling. So, Tom, I'm not going to ask you any wholesaling questions. I've got that covered here. You have coached more wholesalers than anybody, right? You've been doing this since 2013. You have had a wildly successful real estate wholesaling business. You have a portfolio of properties, but you've got a very unique perspective on what to do with the cash that you have, because you know as well as I do, as soon as we get that cash, we start getting ideas, right? We start having ideas of what to do with it. So kind of give us some guiding principles that you use to make sure that you're building wealth and not just, letting it go away. By the way, you look so good, man. Oh my gosh. You look like you're 197 pounds. Look at you.
I'm working on it. Well, first of all, Brent, I just want to say thank you for allowing me on your platform. I'm honored. You are the greatest, and I'm honored to share the stage with you, brother. Honestly, I'm so impressed with you every day. I mean, it's just incredible what a heart you have for helping, and I think, that's the secret to your success. And if everybody's watching, if you want to know the real secret, is the first time I met Brent Daniels. You want to know what he told me? He said, I love this book, The Go-Giver. I read it all the time. So that's the secret, and that's, you emulate that, and it pours out of every pore of your being. I love it. So I'm always honored to share this with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, I think, a lot of the things that you see out there is I started to notice I was helping a lot of people make a lot of money, and they were dead broke. And I want to say to all of your listeners, you'd be surprised with how many people are dead broke. Even people who have 10-gallon hats, they've got no cattle. So I'm on a mission. I am going to fix this problem.
Yep.
And, one of the things, there's a lot of big philosophy that I want everyone to know about. There's big themes when it comes to money. A lot of people are doing it wrong. 95% of the people who are struggling are taking 95% of their instruction from the 95% of people who are broke. And everybody they just don't really understand what money is, right? It's not your money. You are just the steward of money. And the better you are at managing money, the more you will be put in charge of. So you've got to really understand what money is. And I'll tell you the deal is, first of all, one of the reasons that millionaires are millionaires is because they know they're millionaires. Right? What are poor people doing that are not doing, that are millionaires are? They're measuring their net worth, right? If you don't know what your net worth is, it might be because you don't want to look, right? So start with the brutal honesty of looking at where you're at, right? And when you start making money from wholesale deals, it's beyond just keeping properties. Of course you have to keep properties, but some of the most successful wholesalers in the country are broke because they're not holding anything. They have no money management skills. Right? You could see these people. They've got very nice cars. That's the first symptom. So the first thing that you want to get into is you really want to start keeping some property. But even more than that, when you get an assignment check, first of all, start with your net worth. Know your net worth.
Real quick, Tom, for people that don't understand, how do you calculate your net worth?
Yeah, it's so simple. It's so simple, guys. So it's everything, the value of everything that you own, if you were to sell it today or if you had liquid cash, everything you own today, what is that value? Minus everything you owe today. So if you were to pay off everything. And if you look at the people who are in the back of the room at a RIA meeting, and there's a handful that are happy and wealthy and healthy and doing the right thing, and then there's a large group who say things like, man, if you would have known me back 20 years ago, I was killing and I lost everything. What are the things that cause that? Debt, divorce, health, legal, right? The taxes, playing games with taxes, not paying your taxes on time. So if we look to those people, they're leaving a blueprint of what to do and what to not do, what to pay attention to, right? And what to not, and what to avoid. So one of the ways, a really simple methodology, when you get an assignment check, here's the way it works, right? First of all, pay your taxes. You're not a W-2 employee anymore. You're an owner. Every single person, you and I and your audience know famous people that we would describe as uber successful who are dead broke because they didn't pay their taxes. People that are household names that you and I know personally, right? So number one, you get an assignment check, boom. I don't care what any CPA or bookkeeper tells you, you pay the IRS what you owe them immediately. Don't play games. I could invest the money and save, and then later on I make it 2% extra. Don't do that. Your game is not tax evasion. Your game is real estate investing. Yep. So that's the first rule. Second rule is tithe. It says it right in the Bible, right? You want to be a go-giver? It says Malachi chapter 3, verse 8, you don't give God his 10%, you're a thief. It says, how do I steal from God? It's because I'm not tithing. Check it out. Last chapter, Old Testament. So first, tax. Second, tithe your 10%. It's not your money. If you take it, you're stealing it. Number three is table it. Table some money. All wealthy people, they only do a handful of habits. They're all over the map. I don't care what skin color, gender, sexual orientation, age, industry, it doesn't matter. Here's what all wealthy people do. Number one, they all read. All of them, 100% of the time, they're all readers, right? Audible's great. Reading is going to build the most important muscle in your body. Mm-hmm. Number two, right, is that they all save a portion of their income, right? When you talk to poor people, what do they say? I'm in debt, so I'm putting all of it towards my debt. No, you've got to pay yourself first. I don't care how much debt you're in. You've got to save some of your money and invest it, because compound interest works with time. So when you pay debt before you pay yourself, you're losing the most important factor, which is time. So tax, tithe, table, right? Save 10 to 15% of your money like all wealthy people do, and then live on the rest. And that's it. So
I love it.
That's your...
So,
yeah, you take
so
it.
Tom, to open up this show, I talked about the first step is finding discounted properties, right? Finding the opportunities as a real estate entrepreneur, replacing your current job, right? The third one is paying off consumer debts, right? Talk to me about that. What? Talk to me about the weight around your neck of consumer debts and what your thoughts are there.
I mean, if you are doing this business, you are. So if you're, am I losing you guys, or I got a slow internet?
There you are. You're good. You're good right now. Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you're in this business, you're an owner, right? And if you're an owner, you're a plane, and you want to punch the gas, and you've got lift, you got thrust, you got drag, and you got weight. And any consumer debt, there is not an intelligent investor or person or wealthy person who's using, the bonus points on a Marriott credit card. Just don't go into it. So when there, avoid debt at all costs.
Yeah.
Debt is dark. Debt makes the wrong things important. Debt makes money important. Money is a symptom. It is not a condition. Conditions produce money, right? What do wealthy people do? Wealthy people produce conditions that will produce the symptoms. They seek the conditions. Poor people are constantly chasing the symptoms, right? They're constantly right? They want to keep up with the Joneses. They're defining who they are by their financial life, right? They want to buy a new car to impress people. They care too much what people think about them, right? They're constantly chasing cash. But the secret is, what wealthy people know is, you've got to seek the conditions that produce the symptoms. Don't chase the symptoms. So, this is, and as far as your job, a lot of people are super conservative on this, that, you have to save a certain amount of months. No way. I'm going to tell you my advice. I would not be here today if I didn't get fired. I'm going to say it again. Now, I know that Brent Daniels can't say this, right? Because you don't want to go out there with that message. I'm going to go out there with this message, which is, the sooner, I hope you get fired today. It will be the best thing that happens to you. Quit prematurely, because I'm going to tell you, you know who I want as a student? I want the people who are the most inspired and the most desperate, because after coaching 5,000 people, I know who's going to make the most money. It's going to be the guys who are the most desperate and the people who are the most inspired. Because when you're in love, you're gonna make it happen. You're gonna realize you're strong, you're powerful, you're made in the image of God. All of your time, your attention, your focus, all of your resources, your money, your networking, your creativity, when it's all focused on a single point, instead of being diluted through selling your time for money to somebody else's dream, I know how powerful you are and that you can make anything happen. So secretly, I hope every student gets fired and loses their job immediately.
Come on, Tom. Same time.
I love it. Yeah, and avoid that, guys. If you know, you have to just remember the simple formula. It's tax, tithe, table, and take. Live off of what is left. If it's not there, increase your number. You cannot become rich as a pauper. You living like a pauper. You cannot become rich just with frugality. Becoming wealthy means detaching yourself from money, not storing it up. Right? Because that's where money actually becomes the most important thing, right? Store your treasure somewhere else. So the whole idea about money is you've got to just produce the conditions that allow those symptoms to produce automatically. And I'll say this too, you know, you guys are, after coaching all these students, Brent, I can tell you, the students who are the wealthiest, right, are the ones who buy property. You've got to start buying property just as a discipline. If you want to do an assignment agreement and your lawyer says it's okay, great. But I'm going to tell you this is not philosophy and an idea and take this with a grain of salt. This is from thousands and thousands of hours coaching people. I am telling you firsthand, this is straight from the horse's mouth, that the wholesalers who are no longer on a treadmill with a job and they actually own a business and they're actually wealthy and they have a net worth over $1 million, those are the people who close. So start closing now. If you have a limited belief that you don't have enough cash to close or whatever it is, figure that out. Go to Brent, ask him, hey, I want to start closing, but I don't know how. Start closing on deals, because that's going to build the muscles in your belly to start seeing what your future could really look like when you get beyond the treadmill of an assignment.
I love it. And just in wrapping this up, because I think, you know, if I let you loose for too much longer, everybody's minds are going to explode, and then nobody will watch the show anymore. They'll just all their minds will be gone. But with your strategy for buying property, what does that look like? Are you looking for? I described it earlier that somebody said, what is your filter for knowing which properties to take off the table and keep? I said, Michael Jake, who you and I both know, said, listen, if it's in the best school districts, buy them. What do you look at when you're considering an investment property?
Well, first of all, the first thing is, I don't really necessarily, and I know this is going to go against the grain, but I don't really necessarily care about cash flow, because what I have really come to understand is that what I'm more interested in is equity.
Yeah.
So as long as the property will pay for itself, I'm okay with it. I don't really care about making an extra $200 a month, because I understand that if I make $200 a month, all it takes is one tenant turnover or a bad roof, and I'm opposite again, right? So I don't really care about $200 or $300 a month cash flow. However, I don't want to go negative. So one thing that I learned from Todd Toback, and by the way, Michael Jake, I love him, and he's given us both some great advice in the past. One thing I've learned from, Michael Jake said once, he said this to Todd Toback, which was, even if I would have paid retail and just held for a long time, I would have made money on these deals.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
So the whole idea is, what I want is, whatever the property manager tells me that the property is going to rent for, I minus 40%. Right? So if they tell you that it's going to be $1,000, minus 40% and count on 600. That's what you're going to be able to count on. So as long as you can cover that, and it's going to break even, it's good. And then it becomes market specific. For me, in Florida, you want to buy a CBS home, a concrete home, as opposed to a frame home.
Right.
People in Florida, right? So there's little things like that. School district, I will tell you, location is the oldest and truest and most wisdom when it comes to real estate is, but you know, and the other thing too is, and this is something that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, and Julie and I have implemented, and this is key, which is this: your real estate portfolio is a garden. So as we speak right now, I just got off the phone with two agents, which I could show. Well, yeah, I could just say like here. Well, I don't want to show too much information.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, these are some of the. I'm on the phone right now with two agents. We're doing 2 1031 exchanges. So what you have to remember, and this is, guys, like, don't worry about what a 1031 exchange means, because I got a 990 on my SAT. Like, I don't even really know what it means. But here's the deal, right, is that if you buy a small little home and you rent it out for a year, you can then sell that home, keep all of the money without paying taxes, and reinvest it into a more expensive home. So right now, we just sold a home. We kept $316,000 for it, and we're buying a home on the water in this area that's about $700,000. But we're using the 316 down, so we don't have to put down much more money, right? So I just want to encourage everybody that you can grow these portfolios by buying single homes. You don't have to just keep acquiring and adding to the number of doors. But it has those options when wholesaling is the art of consistently finding discounted properties. If you can get good at that and then realize how to leverage those properties, you are financially free right now.
Yep.
Bam. I don't care what your exit strategy is, but that's the key.
I love it. Tom, you're the best. I love you. You're the best.
You're the best, brother. I love you too.
All right.
It's
See you, Tom. Thanks for popping on.
See you soon.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Woo! Come on. Come on. Listen, you become the people you surround yourself with. I am telling you that. Tom Krol came into my life in 2016, and I stayed in his pocket as much as possible. And life has been so much more incredible, I'm telling you. So life has just taken off since then. He has changed so many people, changed so many people's lives for the positive, and we love him. So he's the best. Anyway, let's keep rolling. Let's get some more questions on here. Yeah, Tom is amazing advice, and stuff that you don't typically hear, but he's going to hit you right between the eyes with it, and he's going to do it with that energizing enthusiasm. Bubble and Champagne Studio said, Brent, finish the requirements for hard money lending.
This was the question that
the conversation
that we got interrupted with.
So basically, listen, basically you want to see what their terms are. I would ask them if they do transactional funding where they give you 100% of the price. And can you get this off the screen? I'm just watching Tom put away books. Yeah, you want to see if they do transactional funding, which essentially what they do with transactional funding is they'll give you 100% of your purchase price. As long as you have another contract in place, as long as it's closing at the same time, as long as they have their money and everything organized, your cash buyer does, people will give you 100% financing. Now, they might charge you a point for literally sending a wire and getting it back in 30 minutes, but it gives you the opportunity to close, and it's not typically a wholesale at that point. Then it's a flip. It's a capital gain. It's not like an assignment fee. So that'll solve a lot of problems if in your market you need to have a license, but you don't want to get a license. You just want to do these deals. Then it's see if they have transactional funding and what their terms are. Go ahead, Mike.
What should somebody who's new expect for terms? Down payment, interest rates, that type of thing, fees.
Yeah, it depends on your market, right? In Phoenix, it's highly competitive, so it is, there's not a tremendous amount of fees up front. There's typically a doc fee. Can you switch the camera? A doc fee of $600 and interest rate, right? And your interest rate is anywhere from 10 to 12%. And typically you have to put 20 to 30% down for that. Just depends. Some of them, the more hard money lenders there are, the more competitive the prices are going to be. If you're in a smaller market, you can expect that you got to put 20 to 30% down, and you're anywhere from 12 to 14%. Just depends. Some people like Gus, our friend Gus, he gives 100% financing at 18%, but he'll review the deals, right? So it just depends. Just talk around.
In some markets, like judicial foreclosure states, they don't have a lot of hard money lenders.
Right. Yeah. In some of the judicial states, there it is. Speak clearly. They are. It's really tough to foreclose. So a lot of the private money lenders require more to kind of hedge their bets in case that they have to do anything. So that's why you see significant, in those states, you see points, 1 point, 2 point, up to 3 points to lend that money. It makes it a much tougher. And what I would say is if you're in a judicial state, and I would just Google it, I would do everything that you can to have somebody that has money sitting around in a Roth IRA or in their savings or something that could be your bank. And you just say, hey, listen, I am hustling every single day. You could come to my house and see me make calls every single day. You could see the appointments that I go on. You can go on the appointments. You can check out these properties. You can, be around me when I'm doing my lead follow-up to show you that I'm finding these discounted properties. I just need somebody to be my financial person, to be my financial partner, and, start working on the terms there. Yeah.
So somebody could just Google, am I in a judicial foreclosure state or am I in a non-judicial foreclosure state?
Yep.
And if they're in a judicial foreclosure state, then they're going to know that hard money is going to be tough for the terms. So they need to find a private, a rich uncle or aunt or whatever. So,
and right now, the market's hot. It just depends on where we're at. A lot of, I've heard people just loosening it up in those judicial states, because they just want they need to spend the money. More people have money and they're giving it. That's the incredible thing. People are like, how is anybody, living and why is the economy going like this when they're only giving out, $1,200 or $1,400 a couple times for the pandemic payment, right? And it's because it was trillions of dollars pumped into the economy. Guess where it goes? It goes to the people that provide the most value. It goes to the big corporations. Well, where does it go after the big corporations? It goes to the employees of those big corporations. It goes to the attorneys. It goes to the doctors. It goes to all these other people. Like the money is flowing. There's more money in the system, right? And that's why people right now have so much money and they're like, well, what do I do with it? I hear house buying's great, but I don't have the time for that. I know this guy that is a cousin of mine. He's a hard money lender. He takes funds in and lends them out, and he gives you like 8%. 8%? Are you kidding me? Is it secure? Yeah, it's pretty secure. Oh my gosh, I got to talk to that guy. Then they have these funds, and then guess what? They have to spend it.
should people be scared to call up and talk to a hard money lender?
No, listen, hard money lenders are just dudes and gals, and they're just people. They want your business. It's just like, you cannot be intimidated by title companies. You cannot be intimidated by private money lenders. These are not some movie where the dude gives you the cash and you have to do a blood oath with them or something. You know what I mean? You have to give them the address to your kid's school or something. It's not like that. These are just regular people that have put together a fund of money and they got to lend it out. They got to keep the money going. So just keep networking, keep connecting, but do not be afraid of reaching out. And I would just post honestly to those RIA groups, Mike, and I would just say, who is the best, most friendly hard money lender? And see who responds, and see how many people likes the responses, and see what people are saying. And a lot of times the hard money lender's in there and they're like, I'm the sweetest guy ever. Let's get coffee. And then you've got a relationship.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Facebook groups. Yep. Or your RIA groups or whatever. Come on, Campbell. You know it, brother. Look at this. Are you kidding me? $12,900. $12,900 from one property owner. Are you kidding me? Absolutely incredible. First deal of many. Keep the momentum going. Keep most of that cash. Whatever you did to do it, keep doing that. Wow. I love that. That's the best. That's the start. That goes back to my terrible crude drawing last week of the bridge, where on one side you've got the faith that you can do it. The other side you've got the fact that you closed it and made money. And in between is courage. Courage to take the actions that most people won't take. Absolutely incredible, Campbell. I celebrate your courage. I celebrate your success. Fantastic. Incredible. Awesome. We've got a lot of them today. Jesse, what are you doing to me? This is incredible. You know I love ringing that bell. Bonsai. With regards to your fix and flip repair cost chart, I do deals near the California Bay Area. How much should you add on top of that? 40% extra on all repair. Yes. Add $1 million. No, it's a lot. you know, it's just it's a lot more. So I would play around with that. I love that you asked that question because it brings it up. We've done a lot of people have questions on how do I know what to offer. It's on this channel. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that you get all this great stuff. Great instruction. But yeah, I would add at least probably 50% more. I would say maybe even double. I would stay conservative and double it. I really would, Bonsai. I mean, I would just say, you know, if the basic is 15,000 or 25,000 or 50, I would double it, and yeah, for sure. That's a great point. I mean, anywhere. Listen, San Francisco, I mean, has an affordability rating off the charts. I mean, it's just bananas. Yeah, increase that because people want the good stuff. If they're going to spend millions of dollars, they're going to want the best appliances. They're going to want the best flooring. They're going to want it to be new and sleek and modern or cozy and comfortable and cottagey. It just depends, right? So, yeah, good question. Can you do an episode? What would you do if you had 5,000 and dropped into a competitive town? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell you right now, if I had $5,000, watch out. Listen, you can drive for dollar. You don't need 5,000. You need $300. Truly, you know. I'll get a little bit more because I want a dialer. So $130 for a dialer. 2,000 addresses skip traced at 14 cents an address is $280. And a driving for dollar app, Deal Machine. Dealmachine.com, guys, dealmachine.com. That is $10 off with the TTP code. That's the biggest discount they have. That's $50. And then PropStream to know and pull comps and get access to MLS listings at $100. And that's ttpdata.com. So what is that? We've got 150. What is it? 560. There you go. 560. So if you got $5,000, you've got 8 months worth of expenses covered. And I'm telling you, you start calling consistent for 8 months, you're going to have a lot bigger of a budget. The other thing, if you literally had $0, I would reach out. I would literally go to Google. I'd reach out to the wholesalers in the market. I would just Google wholesale real estate or discount real estate for sale or whatever. Find the biggest wholesalers and reach out to 20 of them, all of them. Doesn't matter. Find one that'll allow you to call their dead leads, and I would just pound those all day long. But if it were me, I'd get a Deal Machine app. I'd skip trace it, and I'd call them. Yep. Same. Can your wholesale business run completely without? It does. Oh yeah. Listen, man, I am just the cheerleader at this point. I'm just the logo at this point. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. If I went to live in the mountains for 6 months and come back, 100%, without a doubt. Listen, they come in on Fridays for the most part. We do strategy. We look at where deals are coming from, where leads are coming from, what's going on in the market, what can we push these properties out for, how do we build our cash buyer database. That's all up here, but that, you know, takes a couple hours a week. Yeah, but without a doubt, Samuel, my team is so bananas right now. They're incredible, and they just run. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that everybody needs to understand. If you pay your people really well and they have the talent and skills to close deals, get out of their way. Just get out of the way. There's no reason. If I were to micromanager, I'd lose them all. I would. They would be like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I'll do something else. But they're getting paid extremely well, which means that they're pushing it hard. I know all of their wives and husbands. So they're all like, hey, can you get Ryan an extra 80 grand this year? Listen, it's not up to me. I'll give him the leads. It's him pushing it. So yeah, 100%, Samuel. Without a doubt, I could. Yep. Not only that, but I'd be happy to do that. Well, it makes me happy to have them come in and be a part of it. And I'm a deal junkie, so I don't know why I said that. But I love the deals. I love looking at it. I love comping. I love, you know, the thrill of the chase. I love getting big deals. Oh yeah, I still like that. you gotta noise. Yeah. There it is. There it is. There's the noise. Good question, Samuel. Absolutely. Yep. Michael, what's the best way to contact probate leads that are going through the grieving process? Well, first of all, just remember that you approach them the same way you would approach anybody else. I don't want you calling up and go, hey, listen, I'm sorry for your loss. I was actually just calling to see if you wanted a cash offer on your property. It just doesn't. It's like a lead balloon. I'm telling you, call them up. Be yourself. Ask them if they would consider an offer. When they say, "Oh, you're calling because of the probate," or "I'm just inheriting that," just let them know. You know what? I work with a lot of people that are in that situation, and I just want to make it as smooth for you as possible, and see if you are open to considering an offer. So one, I think that most of that, I love that you put in there that grieving process, because that's a real thing. 100% of it is your tone. Is really your tone. If you're all wacky and you're going crazy and you're like, well, congratulations, looks like you got a new property though, huh? Silver linings are always great. It's probably not going to go over well, right? So just go with a nice, respectful tone. Just be real respectful, and just see if they would consider an offer like anybody else. All right, good. Julius, closing a deal next week for $9K, and they might have another property for me. Come on, Julius, you wild man. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about, Julius. $9K, incredible. It takes people months in a regular job to make $9K. Actually, to keep $9K, it takes people a long time. So congratulations on that. Keep it going. I want that other property, and I want a massive deal. So stop messing around and get me that $50K plus deal. All right, Julius, congratulations. Absolutely incredible. Hello again, Brent. Addison says, where is an easy place to find a local real estate attorney who will look over a contract? Does this cost? I love this. There is a hack for this, Addison, and that is go to, again, we're talking about these Facebook groups a lot, but whatever. Anytime that there's a real estate investing group or a meetup group or whatever, just find out, or Facebook, just find out, just post to it and say, who is the best title company closing attorney for wholesale deals, right? Just depends on what state you're in, but most of us are working with title companies, and they have in-house attorneys. So what you do is you just call up and you say, can I schedule? I'd love to do business with you guys, but I'd love to sit down with your in-house attorney just to make sure that I'm doing everything the way that you guys prefer it for your company. And then they'll sit down and you just say, what is the best contract? Or you bring them a contract and say, what can be added here? What do you think? Do you have a contract example at least that you can give me? And that's usually the least expensive way. But you can literally call up a real estate attorney that has experience, and I would type that in as well into the groups. Who is a great real estate attorney that works with investors and wholesaling, and then just go and have that appointment. Typically, it costs you $300-400. Yeah, but then you have a real estate attorney, which is great, and you can start building that relationship. Yeah, good question. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we're messing around. Now we're doing it. Yes, absolutely. I can comp this property. Daniel, I do not know where there it is. I'm using Daniel's computer because he's got the supercomputer, prop stream. Boom. I'm going to open this up so everybody can see it. Absolutely, guys. I love doing this. I love looking at Cucamonga. I always thought that was a cool city name, right? I wonder if it's Cucamonga. No, Cucamonga, right? Yeah. So we're going to take a look at this. It is loading now. If you give me a second here, Anthony, I appreciate your patience. These cameras and this show takes up a lot of the internets, and Wednesday, for some reason, we're in the batch skip tracing office, and for some reason on Wednesdays they invite 1,000 people to use the internet in here. So, we're kind of at a handicap here, but you know what? We're happy. Tryon Street. Give me some details, Anthony. Give me some details First of all, this is something that I ask every single one of the people in my TTP program, because all of them get my cell phone and they text me. That's what I'm here for, to make sure that they're getting these deals locked up at the right price. And they text me, can you comp this property? And the first thing that I respond with is, how much does the seller want? Okay? How much does the seller want? That's what I want to know. Rancho Cucamonga. You're right, Mike. He was just assuming we know. All right, fantastic. Let's take a look at this, guys. You can switch me over here, Matt.
Yep. We're getting that comment back.
Okay. Here we go. This is great. So first off, let's look at this. Let's just take our time. If you've never comped a property, this is beautiful because PropStream through TTP data gives you a lot of data here. A lot of data. All right. So first thing I'm looking at right here, it's showing that they think the estimated value is $496. All right. This property I like seeing, 1963, fantastic. It's 1,600 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath. I always like looking at this because if it's 1 bath, it's going to be a whole different ball game, right? 1 baths typically are much lower in demand. All right, so I'm just kind of getting a vibe for this neighborhood off the bat, okay? I see it looks like it's pretty clean. There's a main street here. This is one of the arteries to the neighborhood. That's fine. It's not like right on the corner, which is good. So it's kind of insulated from a lot of the traffic. So this will appeal to most buyers if the property is fixed up. Now what I want to always do every single time, I like looking at the front of it. Now, not all these maps are perfect, but look at this. Neighborhood looks great. Okay, neighborhood looks good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. First of all, if you got a parking cone right here in your side yard, you're on the list. Okay, bro? You're on the list. I don't know what this is. I hope this is a bench. Oh, yeah. Just to watch the neighbors. That's what I'm talking about. Who's using that? All right, so this is good. This has good potential and delicious lemons. So don't sleep on the lemons and some sort of giant, you know what?
Christmas tree.
Yeah, giant Christmas tree in there. Awesome. I mean, listen, the reason we're joking about it, but the reason I'm looking at all this stuff is, listen, this is well lived in, you know, and I'm real curious. This says that it's owner occupied. Now, the reason I look at this is typically there has to be dramatic life changes for an owner that has put so much into this house. Now, they've got this all the way that they like it, right? But they've been there, right? They've been there for a while. Doesn't show the length of ownership, but these people are dug in. So there has to be strong motivation. Why do they want to sell this property? Now, if for some reason, unfortunately, somebody has passed, that's typically what happens with these properties, or it's the inside of this house is so crazy and so packed and so unhealthy that the family is finally forcing them to, like, you know, move and move on with life. But there's some telltale signs here that is kind of red flagging me a little bit. One thing is, this is a brand new roof. This is a brand new, within the last 5 years, roof. Okay, so they had enough money to buy a new roof, or insurance paid for it for some reason, but they put on a new roof. So that's telling me, I don't know. There's something going on here. These people might, you know, they might not be in tremendous financial distress, but they've got an American flag. They got the bench. They got the some other stuff here. They got a car that looks like it's on some sort of blocks or something. I don't know. So maybe there is some financial distress, but typically I'm looking for a roof that's pretty beat up. All right, so now let's get to the comps. So these are all the things that I like looking at just to get a feel. A lot of the times when you're looking at the front of a property, what is also called the elevation of the property, that tells you the story, especially if it's owner occupied. Now, it's just showing owner occupied. It might not be, but it looks like it is, and they got it in a trust, so they've got some things figured out. Right? Yeah, it's in the trust. Listen, if they already know to put it in the trust, these are people that have financial literacy. They do. They've got it in a trust. Now, the property needs some love, and it's, you know, got a bunch of stuff there, but it's got a new roof, and they've owned it. They probably owned it a while. Let me see real quick if they'll give me anything on it. They transferred it in '07. So, I mean, they probably owned it for years and years and years and years. Okay. So let's go to the comparables. What I always love doing here, make sure you go to both here on the data set. That's going to pull public record and MLS. What I like doing here is going active, contingent, and pending, right? If you've got access to the MLS, that's fantastic. And then you're just looking for these comparables. I don't care about, I don't want to go a year back. I want to go 3 months back because the market is on fire. When the market's on fire, you just go back 90 days to get a good idea of what's going on here. Now, obviously, you got some goofy ones in here that are rentals. Hold on, let me scroll down so we can see more of this. We've got some good comps in here. We're looking all around. This is what an appraiser will look at. Let's make sure that these are all kind of built in the same. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to go year built on this max. It was 1963. I'll go 15 years. So I'll go 1978 for the year built. Okay, so I want to pull out all those properties that are in that were built in the 2000s, whatever. I want a similar floor plan, similar vibe. All right, and I'm looking at these things. It's got an average here of 570, which is great. I mean, there's some high ones. I want to look at what's the highest one, 675 in March, and that was number 6, which is just down here, which is in the same neighborhood or similar neighborhood. And I want to see what's going on here. 1,700 square feet. Now, what is the difference between this house and the house we just looked at, right? But I'm telling you, you could make the house we just looked at look exactly like this. I am telling you, and with housing prices and everything, I would say 675. You can snag it. You can snag it. Now, oh, they got a pool though. They got a pool. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put our ARV, and it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to put our ARV at 650 on this. All right. So let's look at the numbers here. This is Rancho Cucamonga. This is 1,600 square feet. The outside's rough. Let's assume that the inside needs some love too. So we're going to look at the numbers. Let's go to the screen here. Daniel. Let's go. Let's go to the screen. Mike, you got the calculator?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. So we got ARV at 650. And by the way, this could be 675. It just depends on what the inventory looks like. Getting a lot of echo out of this one, Matt. We're going to times this by 0.84, okay? And I got that from 10% is the profit minimum. Profit minimum
To the cash buyer.
to your buyer, okay? And that would be, they would be looking to make a minimum of 65K here, right? If they fixed it up, took the risk, flipped it, did all that, put it all in. 6% is your closing costs and agent cost.
39 grand.
Okay, and so right there, Mike, where are we at? 650 times 0.84 is
546.
546. Okay, fantastic. And then with that property, 1,600 square feet in California at this price range, you could probably go, oh man, I would probably put in this property to make it look pristine, probably 60,000. What do you think, Mike? 70?
Yeah.
75?
Let's go 70.
Let's go 70.
Yeah.
Boom. 70,000, right? And that puts us down to the 476, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm like the best math guy.
Well.
I'm like the best math guy. I'm telling you. 476. That's your wholesale price? Wholesale price? So be under here. I would, in your market, I'd be trying to make 30, 40 on the deal. So I'd be somewhere in that 436 to 446, 445-ish. Okay. I'm curious, did he respond how much they want?
No.
He's gone? All right. Well, he can replay and watch it. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Does everybody got that? Did everybody get what's going on there? I think that it's I love breaking these down because it's not only important to look at the comps, but also just the breakdown of what it needs to be so that you can go confidently in there. But that's what I do. That's what I do all day, Mike, is comp properties for the incredible TTP family. It's good. Well, a lot of them know how to do it. Brent, I have about 5 vacant. Jose says, I have 5 vacant boarded up houses that I cannot find any info from skip tracing. I know these are killer deals. What more can I do? There's a company called American Tracers. They're much more expensive than Batch, but you might be able to pull in and get some of the family members if you can't get the numbers for the people that own it. It just depends if it's owned in an LLC, if it is owned. You know what I would do? I would see if your title company can pull just the information on it and just see if it is in an LLC, was it owned previously by an individual, and then go after those people and see if you can get in contact with them, or try to get a relative if you can't get a hold, or they're just not coming up with the property owner's information when you skip trace. But try American Tracers, and then try the family members. Boom. How are we doing? 15 minutes. Woo, we are cruising today. Addison, that's up to you. I mean, talk to, I run everything through an LLC, but don't let this be your creative avoidance, Addison. Don't let this be the, well, I got to wait for all the paperwork before I pick up the phone and make calls. No, keep your momentum going, build up your pipeline of leads, get going, and keep working on your business, and talk to an accountant, talk to a CPA, and get the advantages of an LLC. What I will say is everything runs through my LLC. Got it? Good. Kenneth, yes, of course. Sorry. Vacant land, absolutely. Vacant land, you want to be typically in town, right, in a subdivision. Look for the highest flipped property. Preferably, if you can get a brand new house, that's perfect. That's bananas. If a brand new house was built in that neighborhood, then use that. But if not, find the highest, most upgraded house. And let's say it's 500,000. You're going to times that by 0.2. Okay. Typically, a builder, developer, somebody that's going to be looking for that property is looking to pay up to 20% of what the neighborhood's highest value is, because they'll build a new house. They're going to get the highest value. So they look at 20%. So times that by 0.2, and then obviously you got to be under that, because that's the price they want to get it at. You got to be under that. So that's the rule of thumb there. And then if it's outskirts, offer them $1. You know, seriously. I mean, we've done that a million times. We've gotten like 5 free lots. They're like, well, there's $200 for the taxes. If you pay that, it's yours. Great. But we didn't make much on it. I mean, 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Didn't pump up the team as much as $42,000 average. So, Andres, it does just make sure that if you are under 200,000, okay, if your ARVs are under 200,000, you have to build in, instead of 0.84, I want you to go 0.94, take that 6% off the top for closing costs, for agent costs, all that stuff for your buyers, and then minus 20,000 for their minimum profit. People flipping a property, whether it be a $50,000 property or a $170,000 property, are going to want a minimum of $20,000. Okay, so that does work. A lot of people talk about the 0.7 minus repairs. I get it. That's for properties that are under 200,000, and it works okay. But market's hot, man. Market's hot, and it'll work. So put the 20,000 in there. Simcan. All right, let's do this.
Seller's asking $150 for this.
Ooh, we got some info. If you guys didn't hear that, the wonderful Jesse Pearson just said that the property owner is asking $150 for this, and we're going to see if we're going to give it to him. All right, Avenue, and that is St. Louis. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here we go. St. Louis in the house. Okay. Well, right now, it's showing right here a value of $239. Okay. We're rolling a little bit here. I like that. Let's take a look at what else. Owner occupied again. Okay. Doesn't show the length of ownership. Built in 19. Ah, there it is. There's the cursed one bathroom. It's just, can you imagine like having your whole family, you got one bathroom? I mean, there'd be kids peeing outside. Well, my kids pee outside anyway. Anyway, yeah. Let's look at the picture here. Let's get a vibe for the neighborhood. Okay, look at this. All right. I mean, the street was laid down in 1912, but let's see what the neighborhood. Let's see what the houses look like. Okay, listen, we can work here as long as the comps are looking good. I like this. See, this is interesting. Now, what I notice right off the bat that's going through my head is fairly clean outside. Roof looks like it's not new, but it's okay. They're mowing the lawn. Okay, so what's the distress here? What's going on? Do we have? I see that this neighbor has a garage. Do we have a garage? Do we have any kind of parking? I can't tell. Nope. We have no covered parking. So that's going to affect us when we look at their comps. All right. What are you laughing at? Anyway, we're just having fun. All right. We're just having fun. So we go to both here. We want to go 3 months. So we're looking at March 9th. Boom. We're looking at everything active, pending, contingent there. We're looking for comparables. Okay, we got some good comparables. Look at number 1 there. 179 is pending, literally on the same street. Woo! Come on. You're making my job too easy. What are you doing? Look at you. Come on. All right, so let's see what's going on here. This is a property that is on the same street. It is, let's take a look. It was on the market for 8 days and sold. It's the exact same house. Look at this. 1100, 2-1, 2-1. Come on. We are rolling now. Once the army of people, let's not put you on white screen here, everybody. We'll take a look at this. You know what I want to do? The interesting thing is when I pulled this up, it didn't show pictures of the property. There it is. Look at you. Look at you, beauty. Come on. We'll let that thing do its thing. We're looking at the pictures here for this property, but it looks like it's in good shape. It went in 8 days, same exact square footage. It's got a double lot size? Oh, yeah, double lot size. Listen, 150 is too high for that guy. I'm telling you right now. You're going to have to get him down. And you're going to have to tap into the distress. You know, and it's 20 was built 20 years later.
And I feel like it looks like a different house.
Yeah, it does. It's just the same size. What's going on? Matt, will you fix this, please? Jeez. Oh, and it's got covered parking. Guys, listen. He's at 180 pending right now. Look at this. Come on. Come on. Twice as big lot with a garage. This guy's asking retail. All right. So let's say without it, well, let's talk about this. So this one went in 8 days, which means that the market's hot here. It's in great shape. It's wildly charming. And it's at 180. Maybe it got bid up, but whoever listed this was listed it to sell quickly at 180,000. And so for the offer, and this is great. This will dovetail perfectly into what the Jose was talking about. Does it work in every market? The 20%. Now this is interesting. These are 3 ones. Let's take a look at this. Maybe there's something charming going on with this 245. But that one midway is on the same street. All right, it's good. It looks good. Oh yeah, yeah. Just the architecture of this is just more. It's just way more appealing. That's why they're getting that. You know, architecture matters. Everybody, the appearance matters.
This one's across a major road.
And it's across a major road. Fantastic. Look at that. My team's unstoppable. All right, so 180. So I would say, you know, without a garage and double the lot size, and it's looking beautiful. I'm not going to hit it too much, but I'm going to say 160 is the top. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. ARV equals 160. On that one, we're going to
194 is 150.
94 and is what?
150,400.
150, 400.
Yeah.
Minus 20 is 130, 20K. Now here's where that 20K comes into factor. We didn't just take 10% because that would only be 16,000. We're going a minimum 20,000. So this is where it fluctuates. If you're under 200,000 for your ARV, boom, you're at 130,400. All right, 130,400. You've got 1,100 square feet. You're probably putting in, it just depends on if it needs cabinets and stuff, but I would assume that it's got pretty decent original wood floors and some other things going on for it. So I'm going to put 30 into it. You're at 30,000 right here. You got to sell that thing for 100,000 as a wholesale property, which means you got to be under. I would be at half of what that guy's asking, at probably 80,000. That would be my offer price. Okay, boom, there you go. 150 is too much. 150 is too much. All right, so hit him with 80. Owner, listen, when it's owner occupied and he's got his front lawn mowed, I would look at that almost every time. Before you told me that, Jesse, yeah, right, the curse one bathroom, for real. I'm telling you, it just affects everything. It's crazy. Before you said that, Jesse, and I saw, I don't know if you said it before or after, but in my mind you said it after. I would have said that this guy's asking too much, just because his lawn was done, his lawn was mowed, and it looked like a regular house, and it's owner occupied. So what's his motivation? What's his motivation? You know what I mean? So awesome. Good. Good comp, good pull. We had one over 200. We had one under 200. This is the perfect show. This is great. Look at me. Look at this. I'm going to put my arms wide open again. Hey, are you ready to join the TTP family? That's right. TTPcall.com. TTPcall.com. This is where the most proactive investors in the country join. I'm telling you, we've got the best group. It's an unbelievable community. You get access to the most unbelievable community that are going to support you. You don't have to be in an island by yourself. I'm telling you. Hey, Brent, I'm closing on my first 2 deals on June 30th. This one's going to be a wholesale. The other one is a flip. One of the guys said after we close on this house, he will give me a second house. Julio, here you go, man. Come on. I love it. I love it, Julio. Keep it going, of course. Listen, if people own multiple houses and you close on their first one, you've got an unbelievable opportunity to keep working with them. So get it, Julio. Get that second house. You're doing it. Yeah, fantastic. Make sure that you subscribe. If you have not subscribed, and I know some of you guys haven't, you're like, I don't want to click the button. I'm doing other things. Just click the button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell. And then that way, it'll just give you a little notification on your phone. Bloop. It just pops up that a new video, and it's going to happen every single day, but it's going to give you that shot of energy every single day and instruction that you're looking for. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We don't put any fluff. Trust me, we've looked at it every single way to put clickbaity stuff or bigger, thought stuff and grab everybody's stuff. This is really specific to the people that are taking this business serious and taking serious action, and that's what we love about it. We don't have 1 million subscribers. We've just got the best subscribers. Yeah, so there you go. You want to be the best? Here we are. There you go. And TTP Insider. Man, you guys are hitting me with all of them. TTP Insider. Listen, guys, if you are just getting into this, you need tools and resources. You need to be comfortable in knowing what to say and how the whole process works. TTPinsider.com. I am telling you, it's got everything in there that you would need. All right? And with that, I'm going to bring the crew on to show you that it's not just my beautiful face running this thing. It is the whole team. Incredible. Daniel on the 1s and 2s. Daniel on the camera. Jesse is picking out your comments. Mahoney here as my co-host, making sure we keep this fun. Matt organizes all this, and it would not work without him. And Alejandra is making sure everybody in Instagram is getting their questions answered, and also the live calls. and also takes care of everything else. So guys, we love you. We're going to be coming out. I mean, every single Wednesday we go live to answer questions. So join us every single Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Arizona time. That adjusts sometimes, but we love you guys. We're just different. You, me, everybody in this room, we're just different brains. We want something better. We want something more exciting. We want to have that energy in life. We want to have that energizing enthusiasm. We want to accomplish. We want to learn. We want to get more investment into our mental income. Remember, mental income is important. How much mental income are you giving your friends and your family and your kids and your loved ones and your parents? Mental income, recognition, experience, all these things, mental income. Focus on it. You got it. Till next week, guys. Love you. See ya.